U.S. drug case. Ndlea explains why Tinubu can't be prosecuted. They are not just ready to do their job, that is the truth. Even though the crime was committed abroad, okay, not in Nigeria, but he's a Nigerian with a Nigerian passport, he should be prosecuted. Drug case is a global case, okay? But definitely for Ndlea to come out and say why they cannot prosecute Tinubu is because he's a paymaster. That is the truth. Tinubu has bought every aspect of the government and every aspect of the country to himself. That's why he's going to be there unchallenged. People have collected money and now they've sold their conscience. They can't do anything anymore. All right. All those head of those parastatals have been pocketed. They're all working for him and working for APC with the same money that they collected from Nigerian system. Quite terrible, very bad. Ndlea has risen to the defense of President-elect Bola Tinubu, itemizing grounds why it can't prosecute the soon-to-be inaugurated president of Nigeria in court. That is contained in a preliminary objection to a suit instituted by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the party's governorship candidate for Kogi, Ndlea, at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The litigants are seeking an order of mandamus to compel the Ndlea to arrest and prosecute Tinubu over alleged forfeiture of some funds in his bank account over his alleged involvement in drug trafficking. Tinubu had denied any wrongdoing, and his camp said it was a civil forfeiture and not criminal in nature. But PDP Ndlea, a former senator representing Kogi West, said Tinubu, who was twice governor of Lagos State, has a case to answer since funds traced as proceeds of narcotics dealings as filed in a U.S. court were found in his bank account. However, the anti-narcotic agent, through his director of prosecution and legal services, Joseph Mbona Sunday, said the applicants do not have a locus standi. They do not possess an interest peculiar to them and above the interest of all other Nigerians. The only underlying specific interest of the first applicant then becomes political in nature. The PDP is listed as first applicant, while Ndlea is listed as second applicant. And according to the agency, order of mandamus is an equitable remedy and should only be applied for in good faith and should not produce an indirect or underlying result. The doctrine of judicial self-restraint precludes this honorable court from delving into matters with political coloration or matters aimed at getting direct or indirect political goals. The agency's sworn affidavit in support of its preliminary objection made by its litigation officer, whose the Directorate of the Prosecution and Legal Services Chair Cosmos Dupont averred that this suit, as presented or as presently constituted, does not confer the court with jurisdiction, that the first applicant does not have locus standi to institute this suit, as it does not possess interest peculiar to it and above the interest of all other Nigerians, that the only peculiar interest of the first applicant is to get rid of the sixth respondent as a candidate of a rival political party, that the interest of the first applicant is political in nature. Can you imagine? That the third respondent is an independent government agency that has no political coloration or affiliation, the agency said. It further stated that the court has a duty to insulate the third respondent from political controversies, that the suit is baseless, frivolous, and brought in bad faith with the sole aim of achieving a political objective using the instrumentality of the court process, that the facts and circumstances of the case require the court to apply the doctrine of judicial self-restraint, that the second applicant is not an officer or executive of management committee of the first applicant, that the second applicant has no local standing to institute this suit, as he does not possess any interest peculiar to him above the interest of all other Nigerians, that an order of mandamus is an equitable remedy. Can you imagine? So all these ones that are speaking English now is just to declare that they cannot prosecute Tinubu. That is exactly what they have succeeded in telling us here. So, so because of that, the court case that PDP and Ndlea instituted for Tinubu to be arrested by the Ndlea is not going to work. Now they're summarizing by saying that the course of action of the applicant is dead and legally unsustainable, that it is in the interest of justice to dismiss this suit with substantial cost and all of that. Can you imagine? So it means that Ndlea we definitely will not do anything about that case from what we have seen here. But this case is also in the suit, the election petition that Peter Obi and Labour Party had also instituted. So it means that this same technicality that is used in quashing this matter is also what they will use in quashing that section of that petition that Obi has put to the tribunal. Okay, but I know that that is not the only case the Obi has put in there. There are several other cases that will be reviewed and that will be looked into. There are a few comments here. Some people are more than the law in Nigeria. Obi would have been arrested if he is linked with drugs. It's true now. It's true. If he's linked with drugs, that is what they will say now, and the court will be swift to action. Now, Obi is not linked to anything. They don't even know how to handle him. Okay? Now, because Tinubu is now proven to be above the law, just like Buhari has proven to be above the law, the next thing is to say that the case will not stand because the money that was forfeited was a civil case and not a criminal case. Can you imagine? Someone that is connected to narcotics or dealing of drugs at international level, you are saying it's not an issue. Forfeiture, whether civil or criminal, accepting the simple fact that there was forfeiture is as good as a crime committed. Okay, a crime committed. The city CJN in its judgment sometimes alluded that a forfeiture is well-mean, of course, but they will not look at that. They will not look at that. Nigeria will hail thee. Whether the devil like it or not, this country must be free. That is it. That is it. Quite funny that the Ndlea has turned itself in a court or for Tinubu's defense counsel. Sadly, the only worsening Jagaban's already extremely bad case. I wish them well. That is it. That is it. They're only worsening his case. Are they giving license for drugs? Here in Nigeria, Ndlea is political in nature, meaning they know all the drug lords in Nigeria, but go to Obiaroko to arrest farmers of cannabis as they come to national and they bring them to national TV. We are working Obote Yahoo Nigeria. Obote, and that is true. They will go to people that are doing Igbo in their farms and arrest, but the ones that are carrying all heavy drugs taken out of the country, they will not. Selective administration, selective implementation of laws. This is very, very bad. How can Ndlea say otherwise when they have been squeezed into the man's pocket? Of course, they can't say otherwise now. They can't do anything different. They have been squeezed into the man's pocket. They have collected money. Because Ndlea is another parastatal in Nigeria today that eats more than enough bribe. They go there to get their own share. It's okay. So they have now cleared themselves that they are not in position and they will not arrest Tinubu for anything.